any team that needs a quarterback is probably in the same boat as the Jets. I'm not saying the Jets are different than pick a team that needs a quarterback and the Raiders or something like that. But Joe Burrow doesn't strike me as a guy. I don't know Joe Burrow. Maybe I'm completely wrong. It doesn't strike me as a guy that really would want to be in New York.
Hello and welcome to Gangs All Here. My name is Ryan Sampson. That's Brian Costello, our Jets beat writer. And that's Frankie Vittorini from U Stadium. Today is Friday, December 12th, week 15 of the NFL season. The New York Jets are facing off against the Jacksonville Jaguars down in Jacksonville as a 13 and a half point dog to the Jacksonville Jaguars in a season that continues to slog along for the Jets as they are 3-10. But we're going to talk about Josh Myers signing an extension today with the Jets. We'll break down the future of this offensive line. We'll talk about potential quarterback options for the Jets this offseason. And we'll obviously do our over-unders and picks for the game. But before we get to any of that, I'll start with Mr. Costello. How are you today, sir, on this Friday?
I'm good, Ryan.
Frankie, how you doing, buddy?
Doing good too, man. Doing good. This season's just trucking along here, ain't it? So yeah, just week by week we're taking it at this point, right?
Week by week we are taking it, but I thought last episode was really good, fellas, and the conversation got a lot of good feedback in terms of where this Jets team is going with the quarterback, and we'll get to that in a second because that will be the biggest topic we talk about all offseason as well. But we got news today, Coz, that Josh Myers, center for the New York Jets, who was on a one-year deal before the season, is signing a 2-year extension with the team. What more can you say on Josh Myers now getting extended to have a 3-year run with the Jets and solidifying his spot as the center of this team?
Yeah, well, I kind of want to see the details, Ryan, before we say 3 years. I'm going to guess he's definitely here next year, and 2027 is probably a question. I'm going to guess just the way contracts are structured, they probably get out of that pretty easily. But yeah, he's a good signing for them in March. I don't think we really talked much about him in March, right? Like didn't get a lot of attention. It was a 1-year, $3 million deal or $2 million deal, and we kind of were like, okay, he's going to back up Tippmann at center, and then AVT goes down, and he ends up being the starting center all season. And I think he's been solid is the word I'd use. I don't think he's been great, but I think he's been solid. And, we'll see. Sometimes this is risky. That's the only thing I would say is sometimes you get a year out of a guy and you should just be happy you got a year out of a guy. And then sometimes the team extends him and it goes downhill quickly. So, we'll see. But I think it doesn't seem like they give him a lot of money. 2 years, $11 million. We'll see how it actually breaks down when the contract details come out. But, I don't hate the move.
Yeah, look, Josh is 27 years old. He started all 13 games for the Jets this year. He's played 100% of the snaps. And like you said, he was put in the situation to be the backup to Tippmann, and he stepped right in when AVT went down, sliding Tippmann over to guard, and he's done a solid job, I think is a great way to put it. The question still remains, though, because now they have 4 out of 5 offensive linemen under contract for next year because Tippmann's still on his rookie deal. So could you potentially see the Jets addressing, both the John Simpson left guard position, and could they bring more depth into the guard spot? Because I would argue the Jets need some more beef in the middle, if you know what I mean, Kaz. I feel like they have 2 really good young tackles that are sending on the way up in terms of the trajectory, but I feel like the Jets could still have a little bit better run maulers in between the tackles.
Yeah, if I had to guess right now, right, I bet they bring AVT back on a 1-year prove it type deal, and then they bring somebody else in as well. Whether that's signing a veteran or whether that's drafting a guy, maybe the 3rd round, 4th round that could come in and possibly compete. And, if AVT gets hurt again, step in. That to me makes sense right now as we're sitting here on, December 12th. So we'll see as the offseason unfolds. But I could see, I think I think John Simpson's probably gone. John Simpson and AVT both free agents. So but AVT to me feels like a guy who he's not going to get paid, obviously coming off of an injury. So why not just run it back with him on a year deal and see if he can get healthy and have a good season.
Yeah, look, AVT was voted as the team captain before he went down with the injury. So we know that the team really respects him as a leader and a guy that they all can look up to. Frankie, if they do decide to bring back AVT on a 1-year deal, How important is that for this offensive line to gel? The fact that they've had the same 5 starting all 13 games, and that it's been a consistent rotation for the Jets offensive line.
Yeah, man, I think they need this offensive line to be a strength of the team. So I think the more guys you can sort of lock in on, let's say, these shorter term deals, I think the better, especially when you're talking about center and guard. I do want the Jets to address this, though, in the offseason, especially through the draft. I think you want to bring in a young center behind Myers, and definitely maybe look at guard, depending upon how you view Simpson. There. So yeah, I don't know what AVT's market really is. I don't really think anybody does at this point. Once that becomes clear, I think we'll get a better sense whether or not he's a viable option for us. But I love AVT, man. He's been here for a bit. He's a leader, based on what I've seen and heard from people that have played with him. Like he's awesome. He's a great guy, and I think he's someone that if you want your offensive line to be a strength, you want guys like AVT up there. So
yeah, no, I agree with you. It's been unfortunate luck for AVT with the injuries.
yeah,
Considering it's been 2 triceps injuries and Achilles injury that have all ended his seasons in the last 4 years. I mean, he's missed a lot of time in that span. So but it's good to see that the Jets are somewhat building a strength for this team in the front line with their 2 tackles, now locking up Myers at center for another year, possibly 2. And then we'll see what they do with the guard position and if they can strengthen that. And I think make this really an elite offensive line, because that's something I think we all take for granted sometimes, but it's nice to see that the Jets are building some young foundation there. Look, they're building this foundation potentially for their next quarterback. And we had talked about it on the last episode, Coz and Frankie, about, are the Jets going to be able to trade up if they end up with another win this year? They end up with 4 wins, and they end in that 5 to 7 range in the draft. It doesn't seem like a strong quarterback class right now with just Mendoza. We don't know this situation with Moore and Simpson. So are they going to be able to trade up for that quarterback? Coz had mentioned, look, maybe not, just because it's few options in the draft. So we haven't really talked about, and something we might talk about in the offseason is, could there be veteran options for the Jets to look at for the quarterback position that we haven't even talked about? So for Gang Sounds Off, I think I might have found a veteran quarterback option for the Jets.
If I want to keep doing this, I have to have fun doing it. I've been through a lot, and if it's not fun, then what am I doing it for? So that's the mindset I'm trying to bring to the table.
Maybe I'm reading too much into it, but it seemed frustrating.
There's just a lot of things going on right now.
Football related, personally?
All the above. Like you said, there's nothing. All we can do is focus week to week and try to win games. I don't think anybody's really thinking about the playoffs right now. That's within reach, but on our fingertips. So we just got to keep doing what we're doing and try to get better.
So look, a lot of people took it 2 ways for the Burrow sound. The first being that he seems disappointed, and you have to love what you're doing, which gives a lot of people thought about the Joe Burrow, Andrew Luck comparisons of a guy who's been beat up a lot in his career. He's dealt with a ton of injuries. He's been sacked a lot, more than any other quarterback in the NFL. And there's questions about, will he pull an Andrew Luck and just decide to hang it up, and I've had enough of this game. I've gotten the most out of I can. I just don't want to keep beating my body up. That's one angle. The other angle is how I'm presenting this to you, Coz and Frankie. If he is disappointed in Cincinnati, and the Jets have all of this capital, 5 first-round picks in the next 2 years, Coz, you got to be picking up that phone in the offseason and saying, hey, what's it going to take for me to get Joe Burrow on the New York Jets? Am I crazy?
You're not crazy to say they should pick up the phone. You're crazy to think it can happen. There's two huge obstacles in my view.
Okay.
One, Joe Burrow has a no trade clause. Why would he want to play for the Jets? He just said the word fun.
I know, fun.
He had the word, he's having fun. Has there been a lot of fun around here in the last 15 years?
No.
Right? Like, I just think and like, look, any team that needs a quarterback is probably in the same boat as the Jets. I'm not saying the Jets are different than pick a team that needs a quarterback and the Raiders or something like that. But Joe Burrow doesn't strike me as a guy. I don't know Joe Burrow. Maybe I'm completely wrong. It doesn't strike me a guy that really would want to be in New York. Doesn't seem like um, like that would be the thing for him. Like that he would desperately want to be here. He doesn't seem like a guy who wants to be in a ton of commercials and that kind of stuff. So that's the one thing. The second thing is the Bengals, right? Like the Bengals are a different organization than most organizations. Even if the Jets are throwing a ton of stuff at them, I just think the Bengals are going to dig their heels in and say, "Yeah, we're not trading him." Even if Joe Burrow's like, I don't want to play for this team anymore." We saw with Trey Hendrickson last year, right? They fought him all the way to the season. Going way back, Carson Palmer had to retire. They wouldn't trade Carson Palmer, retired, and I think then they traded him like a year later to the Raiders, something like
Yep.
that. So this won't be like it wouldn't. I just can't see it happening. I'd be stunned if the Bengals traded Joe Burrow, and I'd be stunned if he was traded if he picked the Jets as the team he wanted to go to.
Right.
I also think if the Bengals do this, they're going to ship him to the NFC. Like, right, well, like you're still trying to win if you're Cincinnati. So I think if you have I think you're trying to get into the NFC. Now the Jets maybe could go, oh, we have 5 draft picks.
Exactly. That's my pushback. They have more capital than anyone else in the NFL right now to throw at the Bengals.
Yeah, I think it's more the first two things is the big thing to me. I just don't see Joe Burrow wanting the Jets, and I don't see the Bengals just capitulating to what he wants.
What I will
if
say,
that's what he wants.
Yeah, I mean, I hear you guys completely on both points, but what I will say is a lot of people thought the same thing about Aaron Rodgers until he eventually made his decision that he wanted to come to the Jets.
Yes. Aaron Rodgers is a guy, though, you can see wanting New York a little bit. Like, he does like attention. He does like, he does like to be front and center. So that sort of made a little sense there. And I think the writing on the wall by the end there was more with the Packers. He also, how old was he when the trade happened? I can't remember, 38, 39?
I think he was 39 going on 40.
Yeah, Joe Burrow is 29, am I correct?
Which is why it's so tantalizing if the Jets were even.
But not if you're Cincinnati. If I'm saying, like, for Cincinnati's view, why would Cincinnati trade him?
Well, I think they might have no choice if their quarterback says, I don't want to play
You
for
always
you
have
anymore.
a choice, Ryan. How many times do we hear this guy wants a trade? How many times do we hear that a year? Out of let's go San Francisco. Just take the 49ers. How many guys have demanded a trade from the 49ers? And they said no. They're like, we're not trading you. Like, more guys who demand a trade don't get traded than do get traded.
Right, but there's certainly been a shift, though, I think, in the modern athlete now, in the way, in terms of NFL, even professional teams now have gone sort of the NBA route where a player demands a trade, he's a star player, and they kind of are at the mercy of that player, either giving him a contract extension and paying him more money to stay here, or they do end up having to force their hand and trade him because he doesn't want to play for them anymore, and he holds out.
Yeah, I just think Lamar Jackson demanded a trade, right? Like, he's still in Baltimore. Like, there's been the last 5 years, I can name like 20 guys who demanded a trade and didn't get traded. Like, it happens all the time. And the Bengals are a different organization. They operate in a different way than everybody, all the other 31 other teams.
Frankie, what are your thoughts on all this of Joe Burrow?
Well, my thoughts are this. You want to end this Joe Namath curse, this Broadway Joe curse? Get the new Broadway Joe in here. I think that's the way to do it. Get the new Broadway Joe. No, listen, I think the only way that if this were to happen, the only way that it would make sense for Joe Burrow is him telling himself, hey, I'm going to be able to go to a team that actually has a unit that we just spoke about, a really good O-line that'll finally be able to protect me a bit. He's gone through injuries, and people have speculated why those injuries have happened, and they've blamed the O-line. I think it would be a home run for the Jets, but I agree with Coz, man. It's Ryan. This stuff, this is pipe dream stuff when you're talking about a 29-year-old. When you're talking about an aging vet like Rodgers was, that's a little bit different. The market's not really there. Joe Burrow is a top 5 quarterback, and you
top
have
3. I would argue top 3.
You could argue that, yeah. You'd have teams lining up that even have quarterbacks that want Joe Burrow. You'd have the Texans with C.J. Stroud lining up. You'd have the Panthers with Bryce Young. You'd have everyone lining up, really, unless you have, a Josh Allen, Lamar, or Dak. And maybe they would line up too, the Ravens. Who knows? I'm just saying. So that's how good Joe Burrow is. You have to consider that.
Right, but none of them have, Frankie,
none
of them have the Jets draft capital. None of them.
That is true.
That's what I'm trying to say to this about this all. Let's say in this crazy scenario that I'm laying out, Joe Burrow does want out, and the Bengals they're getting their hand forced. The Jets would be crazy not to go all in and say, we're going after Joe Burrow. We're offering the 5 first-round picks, whatever it's going to take. We'll take.
You'd offer them all?
I would offer them all for him because Frankie and Coz.
Wow.
Well, hang on, guys. So let's be honest here.
No, it's not that crazy, but it is crazy. But it's not that
crazy.
The only issue I have with Joe Burrow is his health, right? Like he hasn't been able to stay healthy, right? Like, but you do have to take that into account.
100%. But he is also the only guy I've seen take the Bengals to the Super Bowl in my lifetime, and also be able to do what he's done at this age. You're talking about a franchise that has not won anything recently and hasn't been to the playoffs in over 15 years, going on 16, and we're lacking that franchise quarterback since Joe Willie Namath. So if you're telling me I could get my franchise guy, hell yes. I am all in. Because the other thing, Frankie and Coz, that we haven't mentioned is you don't have to draft the guy and hope that he develops into a Joe Burrow. You know what you're getting with Joe Burrow, which is superstar quarterback.
If he's healthy.
If he's healthy.
That's the one. But
the Jets have a better offensive line to protect him. They have a better offensive line to protect him than the Bengals do.
He's still playing football, though. Like, I get it, but that's not all on the offensive line.
But he's the most sacked quarterback in the NFL.
I get it. But like, I'd have to look at every injury he's had, though. Has it all been on sacks? Or like,
well, the foot injury, the toe injury that he just had was because he was constantly under pressure and he's trying to,
I know he's still playing football though. Like I realize we're putting the Jets tackles in the Hall of Fame already, but like their offensive line is okay. It's okay right now. Let's not this isn't. So I still think the injuries would be a concern. But yeah, I get it. They would have to try if he was available. I agree with you. Like it's a home run if they could do it. I don't know if I'd give up 5 first-round picks for him.
Ryan, I'll ask you this. Is Joe Burrow, is he used goods? Is he like a used car or is he more towards a new car? Because I'm thinking he's a little bit more towards a used car at this point, given the injuries. No. I'm just saying, I don't think you're getting
you're getting prime Joe Burrow. You're getting prime Joe Burrow.
If Joe Burrow came here and the Jets still stunk, that would end all you guys.
Yeah, it would.
Be the end.
But
that would be the end, right? I feel like the Rodgers piece broke a lot of Jets fans. If Burrow was here and the Jets were still bad, that would be the last
season.
Base.
Well, then I would
be the last season in the Netflix documentary of the Jets fan base. That would be the Joe Burrow.
It'd be the ultimate, like, this franchise is cursed. This franchise is ultimately cursed and it's never going to win again. But again, Frankie, I disagree with you tremendously on this point. Like, Joe Burrow, I understand. I hear you guys in the injury part. I think he's been beat the hell up, and that's why you're hearing the comments he's making right now. The team has not supported him the way they should have in terms of the offensive line and protecting him. And I also don't think his offensive coach, his head coach, is a great coach, to be honest with you, and Zach Taylor. I never thought he was a good head coach. I don't think he puts him in the best offensive scheme. I think he's frustrated with that too. So there's a lot of elements there. And I just think if you're telling me a 29-year-old in his prime, one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, and you could trade a ton of assets to get him, it's a proven commodity. And I wouldn't hesitate to ever go for that. And the Jets have a ton of cap space for it too. Go ahead.
Sorry, let me ask you a question. Last year or 2 years ago, I was very concerned about that wrist injury that he sustained because they were saying that he might never be able to throw the ball the same again. Now he's proven that to be wrong, I'd say, but does it creep back up? Is he going to have lingering issues with that in a year or two if he takes a hit? I mean, I'm just saying.
Patrick Mahomes has got a knee brace on. Patrick Mahomes has got a knee brace on. We saw him nursing that this past weekend. Like, are you concerned about that knee injury constantly flaring up? Like, that's what I'm saying, though, Frankie. Like, it's just, you never know.
This wrist thing was scary, though. It was potentially career-ending they were talking about at the time. I'm just saying this is one of, like, 5 injury issues with Burrow. And, Ryan, I'm with you. 2 first rounders, yes. 3, yes. 5,
That's
I'm
what
just
I'm
saying.
I'm the same way. I 3 first round picks. I would do it. I would do it if you
Yeah.
if you had to trade, the 2 picks in 26 and the Jets pick in 27, and then they probably have to throw like a second round pick in as well. Go for it. Like I'm with you on most of this, Rod. Like I think he is in his prime. I don't think he's done. I think quarterbacks are a different timeline than every other player. So I think he can play for a long time still. I think if you think about Peyton Manning going to the Broncos and what he did there late in his career, or Tom Brady with the Buccaneers, and this guy isn't even close to being that late in his career. I just don't know what player I'd give 5 first round picks up for. So like you do have other holes on this team.
Completely.
Yeah, so I would hesitate to do 5, I think.
Yeah, I mean, look, you also have a ton of cap space to play with. They still, yeah, I mean, again, we're playing the what
but
if
free
game.
agents suck.
They do.
They do. All right. That's a fun conversation, but I think it sparks different parts of your mind here, Coz and Frankie, about like those veteran quarterback options that we haven't even talked about, which is why I thought it was fascinating after our episode. It's like, holy crap, Joe Burrow does not sound happy in Cincinnati right now. And it just makes you wonder, like, what other quarterbacks could become available in the offseason that we're not even talking about.
Yeah, that's happened the last few years. I
Yeah.
mean, the last 5 years, that's happened where it's like, look, the Detroit LA trade was a shock. They're playing this week, right? That Stafford Goff thing, no one saw that coming. The Rodgers deal to the Jet, like Rodgers, that was shocking when he actually became available when we realized that. And there's always a surprise. It feels like in January, February now. So definitely somebody could shake free that we're not talking about.
Yep. So it makes you think about it. And look, we have still a month to go before the season is over, but I am getting excited about just talking about these things with finding the next Jets quarterback and hopefully a franchise quarterback for them.
Ryan, I have another name for you really quick, though. I have another veteran quarterback name who's had some success in this league, who was also a former first overall pick. Can I fancy you in a little bit of Kyler Murray, sir?
I know what you're doing, Frankie. No.
Guys, you have no idea. Ryan's gone on this little roundabout on social and on shows proclaiming that he will denounce his Jets fandom if the Jets get Kyler Murray, that he's done with the team. He's done. Yeah. So I'm just letting you know this. This is out there in the ether there. Yep.
I've now become a proponent of getting Kyler Murray because I want to see what happens with Ryan.
I mean, I'm not hosting the show anymore then. Frankie and you guys.
No.
I mean, that's serious, guys. Like, I know
You're
for
the host. I can't host. You can host. I can maybe co-host. Maybe.
So look, guys, the whole Kyler Murray discussion, again, fascinating one. Here's what I'll say about Kyler Murray, and I've said this on other platforms, and I'll say this to you guys. I know for a fact, Kyler Murray does not love football. He doesn't. So I know for a fact if the Jets were to go all in and trade for him and bring on that horrendous contract for a guy who, you want to talk about injuries, has had some injuries lately, who's undersized, doesn't have the strongest arm in the NFL, and at the end of the day, you guys will feast, and I'm talking about you guys, you will feast on him in the media because he doesn't love football, he will give you a pouty attitude, and he's not a leader. And there's a reason why they played better football with Jacoby Brissett behind center. So if the Jets decided to bring Kyler Murray in here, I am done with this franchise because they're not a serious franchise. You bring Kyler Murray in as a quarterback to start for your team, you're not a serious organization. I'm just telling you.
What if they brought Kyler Murray in and were drafting a quarterback? Like the idea that they were going to have like a competition between the two in August and like a Russell Wilson with the Giants type of situation.
If it's a vet minimum, right? Like that's the only situation where I could see it's salvageable. Okay. But you cannot bring him in on that contract. That deal is horrendous.
I'd be shocked if someone picks up that contract. Yeah.
So look, if you're telling me
the Cardinals have to eat that.
Yeah, if the Cardinals have to eat it. But like if it's a vet minimum and they drafted a first round quarterback, like you laying out, Coz, you got me still.
You're okay with that.
I'm okay with that. Right. But I was talking about like, and what Frankie and other people were laying out to me, if the
Jets, as a starter,
him as a starter and not bringing in competition, even on a bridge, like I don't want that. That's you're going to lose football games. I'm just telling you right now. He's not a winning quarterback. He's never been a winning quarterback, and in the NFL. And I just don't think I know he doesn't love football. I don't want my quarterback not loving football. I know that sounds crazy, guys, but like if Philip Rivers loves football, the man is coming out of retirement at 44 years old, must-watch TV this weekend. That guy lives, eats, and breathes football. Kyler Murray does not. He's never been that way. So, and he's also proven he can't win. He's had DeAndre Hopkins in his prime, and they never did anything with that. It's just, to me, like that you're signing up for more of the same, Coz, where you're going to be stuck in this middle ground of never being good, too good, never being really bad, and at the same time, you're like, I have no idea where the hell we are in quarterback purgatory. Who's our franchise quarterback? Sure as hell ain't Kyler Murray, because he's giving us mixed signals on and off the field. It'd be a disaster.
There have been stretches in his career, though, I'll say this. I'm not advocating for Kyler Murray, but Ryan, there have been stretches in his career where Kyler Murray's looked awesome. There's a reason he got that deal. I mean, he can run with it. He could throw it all over the yard. He's tough to bring down. He's like Pac-Man back there trying to get him. So, but yeah, I'm with you there. I'm with you. I am. I'm not. I wouldn't go as far as you have, which I thought was pretty funny. You're gonna.
If they trade for him in that contract, you're signing up for QBL again.
Yeah.
Again, Frankie,
no, I'm with you.
the most touchdowns he's thrown for in his career, 26.
I just threw that up too. Yeah, I'm kind of shocked. I thought he had a year. He at least had like 4,200 and like.
He's never
30
thrown for
plus.
4,000. He's never thrown for 4,000 yards.
His second year though, he almost hit that, which is pretty impressive. 3,971 in your second year is good. But yeah, since then he's been trending down. He tried to have a little resurgence last year, but yeah. No, I'm with you, man. I'm with you. It's
Am I crazy, Coz, for that kind of take, or you don't know about Kyler Murray, the person? You're not ready to comment.
I wouldn't take Kyler Murray. I don't want Kyler Murray. I mean,
Yeah.
renouncing your fandom might be a little extreme. Over
It's just
that,
but they've been beating me down. Like, you know what I mean?
I get it. But yeah, he's. I
I
wouldn't
have a
want.
feeling
I
it
would
might
not
happen, guys.
want Kyler Murray.
I'm just kidding.
All right.
I just thought that was funny when Ryan said it this week because
I
he
will.
went on a show and he said it, and I was like, wait, what?
I'll make the proclamation here for all you fellas. If they bring Kyler Murray in to be the starter with no competition and they have the contract from the Cardinals on the books, Ryan Sampson is no longer a Jets fan. I will be a free agent just watching NFL because I love the NFL and I love football. But this franchise does not deserve my fandom if they're going to put Kyler Murray on my eyes and make me watch that at MetLife every friggin' Sunday. It's going to be horrible. Horrible. All right, fellas, let's move
Become
over
a Jaguars fan if that happens. That's a good team.
No, I don't like
Up
Trevor
and
Lawrence
coming,
either.
yeah.
I don't like Trevor Lawrence
Okay.
either. All right, so let's talk about this game against Trevor Lawrence. Key matchups. I'll start with Frankie. What's your key matchup this weekend for Jets versus Jaguars?
Well, I'm doing this for the first time on our preview show. I'm going to go back to my key matchup the week before. It's Breece Hall against that Jaguars front, specifically those linebackers. Those Jacksonville linebackers are arguably the best in football. Foye Oluokun
Really?
is unbelievable. Yeah, he's been a top of the league in tackles for years now. Underrated, doesn't get spoken about enough. And Devin Lloyd is having a monster year, as he's had for the most part there in Jacksonville. Those two guys there do a great job of just seeing what's going on in that front, sniffing it out, getting their defensive linemen to sort of put pressures in certain ways and stunts, and then they cover on the opposite sides there. They're great in traffic. We're going to have to see what Breece – I mean, it's going to be interesting to see what we have with Breece Hall in this game, because if we want to win this game, Breece Hall's got to get the ball moving on the ground. We're probably going to start this, undrafted free agent quarterback in Brady Cook. Breece is going to have to do something this week. Again, I spoke about it to you guys last week, the yards per carry thing. He had, again, a bad game when it comes to yardage on the ground. 43 yards on 14 carries. That's 3.1 yards a carry. Breece has got to be around at least 3.7, 3.8. Jacksonville also has the best rush defense in football. They give up the least amount of yards on the ground in the NFL. So let's see what Breece got this week.
That's a good one. Kaz, what do you got for me this week?
I would add to that with Frankie. Breece also dealing with a knee injury.
Yeah.
So I'm
There you go.
skeptical of what you're going to get out of Breece this week. He didn't practice Wednesday. He was
Yeah.
limited Thursday. It looked like when Brady Cook fumbled last week, and I think Breece recovered it, jumped on. It looked like that's when he hurt his knee to me. I haven't talked to him, but that looked like he got up a little slow after that. So, yeah, the number one run defense. My matchup this week, Ryan, will be Jets fans versus their remote control. I don't see how they. I'm curious to see how long Jets fans can last watching this game because this just feels like just like a slog to me. Like I don't think they're gonna get their doors blown off necessarily because I got a feeling Jacksonville's gonna come out sleepwalking. But Brady watching Brady cook, I don't know how you get excited about that if you're a Jets fan. It's just you're 3-10. It's December. Like maybe you got some Christmas shopping to do. So you're gonna turn it off at 2 o'clock and head to the mall. Maybe you're still doing your decorations. Some of us are married. You have to sort of broker how much football you watch on a Sunday, and maybe you want to watch the Sunday night game and the 4 o'clock, and you're like, all right, honey, let's catch up on that Netflix show we've been watching. So that's my key matchup for Sunday, Ryan, is Jets fans versus their remote control. How long can they last watching this game?
Coz went a different route as well for the first time this season, picking that one off the field. Look, the only reason Frankie and I are watching this game is because we have to do a post-game show to talk about the
Right.
said game.
Yeah.
No, look, I'm in the same boat as you, Coz. Like, there's nothing about this game that is appealing to me as a fan. It's going to be a slog, just like the Dolphins game, in my opinion. Once Tyrod went out, it was just like, I can't believe I have to watch this the rest of this way. Look, I could go chalk and say I'm actually looking forward to seeing the special teams unit, like Isaiah Williams. How does he look in the return game, right? Like I could do that, but I'm actually going to probably pick something that I think needs to show some signs of life and be challenged a little bit if Steve Wilkes wants to have a job at the end of the year, guys. It's Quincy Williams and Jamie Sherwood. These two linebackers, and Kiko, if he is playing, these guys have to be able to handle Travis Etienne because Etienne has looked pretty good this year in this offense. And I think the Jets are going to have, again, a really tough matchup to face against this Jaguars running attack because Travis Etienne looks really good. I know they got Basil Tootin. They have some players that can run the ball. And I just think the Jaguars, if they can just get it rolling again on the ground like they saw the Dolphins do, it's going to be a long day for the Jets defense again, guys. So that's my key matchup this weekend.
Etienne had a good couple games too in a row there. He's been playing really well.
Yeah. All right, let's do Stump Coz.
Wow.
Yeah. Coz has got me a couple weeks in a row.
This.
Do you?
Yes.
What's the question?
I have a feeling I think you're going with the last time the Jets played the Jaguars in the playoffs.
No.
Okay.
No. Way off, Frankie. Ready? Coz, Frankie, Brady Cook had 2 interceptions last week. Coz, what Jets rookie quarterback holds the record for the most interceptions thrown in a single game?
Mark Sanchez.
Bang! He got it right away.
Wow.
Mark Sanchez,
Damn.
5
There he is.
interceptions versus the Buffalo Bills on October 18, 2009 in a
Re-
16-13 loss.
Do you have the box score up, Ryan?
I can pull it up for you right now.
Check out the yards rushing in that game for the Jets. Thomas Jones specifically, but overall total yards by the Jets rushing in that game.
The Jets rushed for 318 yards.
Ooh.
Thomas Jones, 210.
And they lost.
How do you feel
And they
about
They ran for
lost.
300 yards and
with
lost.
that running game?
5 interceptions. They actually threw
That's
6 interceptions in
incredible.
the game. Who threw the other interception?
Wait,
Oh,
was a
bonus
running back.
question. Steve
What was that
Weatherford. Steve Weatherford
That's
threw an
right.
interception.
Yeah, I remember that.
I don't remember that one.
So I thought that was pretty interesting. The fact that Mark Sanchez holds the record for the most interceptions thrown by a rookie quarterback in a single game.
That might have been when they introduced the wristband for him. After that, the green, yellow, red. Do you remember that story?
Yeah.
They made him wear a wristband, and they would say before the play, "This is a green play, and he could be aggressive. This is a red play, and not be aggressive." I don't remember if it was after that game or he had another one against New England where he threw a bunch of interceptions. It might have been after that one.
But yeah, look, Brady Cook, just don't break that record this weekend, please, or tie that record. And also,
Well, I thought
Go
I don't know
ahead.
if you guys did you see Todd Bowles' press conference last night?
oof.
I loved it. He dropped 7
Yeah,
F-bombs and
The only other time I saw Todd like that was after the 6th interception game. After that game,
Yeah.
Todd swore like crazy in the post-game press conference. I'd never seen him that mad. So that reminded me of that last night.
Yeah. So hopefully Brady Cook gets a better play from his wide receivers as well to stop dropping the ball and stop having balls go off your hands into interceptions, Mason Taylor. All right, let's do over-unders, and then we'll pick this game. Last week, Kaz, 5-1. last week for Mr.
Ooh.
Costello. Frankie 3-3, so 500.
I'm back.
On the season, Mr. Costello is 46-39, up 7 units. And now Frankie's total is 35-50. You are down 15 units for the season.
Can I ask something? I'm asking for an amendment on a few of those over-unders.
No, you're not getting it.
Can I give you my reason?
No,
really
you're not
quickly?
getting the Tyrod Taylor one. You're not getting that.
No,
over.
no, I don't want that. I picked first touchdowns with some pretty stretch plays there with some higher odd plays, and I think I deserve some consideration to take those off my over-unders.
Nope, you're not getting it. Last week, Tyrod Taylor, 178.5 pass yards. Kaz had the under. Frankie had the over. That's a loss for Frankie. Tua Tagovailoa, 217.5 pass yards. Kaz had the under. Frankie had the under. Those are both wins. Jalen Waddle, 67.5 receiving yards. Both of you fellas had the under. Those are wins. Adonai Mitchell, 49.5 receiving yards. Kaz had the under, and Frankie had the over, so Kaz got the win there. Devon Achane, 82.5 rush yards. Kaz had the over. Frankie had the over. Wins for you guys. And Brees Hall.
Quarter and a half, Kaz.
Yeah, you caught it. But you caught it in the first quarter almost. Brees Hall, 70.5 rush yards. Kaz had the over and Frankie had the over. Both of you lost on that one. So now we're going to do this week. And I got some lines here, fellas. They don't have a Brees Hall line, so we will not have Brees Hall in this over-under. But they do have Brady Cook. They have his passing yards here. So we'll start there with Brady Cook, Kaz. 155.5 pass yards. I will note this before you make your pick. Do you guys know that they have a line for Philip Rivers passing yards over-under? And he has less passing yards over-under than Brady Cook this week. Brady Cook is at 155. Philip Rivers is at 152. How about that?
That's interesting.
Well, I mean, Brady Cook's a lot younger than Philip Rivers and has practiced for 3 months.
Brady Cook's also an undrafted rookie.
I'm gonna go override with
Wow.
this is my idea. I think he's gonna have a lot of fourth quarter passing yards. So I thought like last week, I thought he compiled a lot of yardage at the end of the game. So I'll go over with the idea that it's gonna be in the fourth quarter.
Frankie?
You know what? I'm going over too, man. But I'm going over for a different reason. I think Brady Cook's going to have some deep balls down the field, man. He's going to chuck it down the field. I think 80 Mitchell's going to have 80. If you want a bet of the week, and you shouldn't be taking advice from me at all on betting, that's for sure. But if you do want a bet of the week, 80 Mitchell over whatever his longest reception is. I'm telling you, Brady Cook's got an arm back there. I think 80 is going to get something for 40 to 50 yards. And
if he doesn't drop it.
That's a good point, yeah. If he doesn't drop it. But
Trevor Lawrence.
If he gets one of those, it's the over is going to hit probably, I would say. So.
Trevor Lawrence, 218.5 pass yards. Kaz.
I'll go under.
Okay, Frankie?
I'm going to go over. Barely over, but I'm going over.
Now let's talk about his rushing mate. Travis Etienne, 72.5 rush yards.
Over.
Yeah. Frankie?
Same. Over.
Adonai Mitchell, Frankie's guy who says he's going to get a long catch in this one. They got him at 40.5 receiving yards. Kaz?
4-0. Man. I'll go over.
Okay. Maybe Kaz is buying into Frankie's theory. Frankie, you have to take the over, right?
I have to take the over. It's
all right.
40 plus.
This guy's going to have a 70-yard catch.
So far, you guys have all picked only Trevor Lawrence is where you've been different. Jacoby Myers, 53.5 receiving yards. Kaz?
Under.
Frankie?
Under.
All right, and now let's go to John Mechie, 35.5 receiving yards. Kaz?
35. Under.
Frankie?
I'm going to go under also.
Wow, you guys only different on one pick. So Frankie's not going to make much room up if he tries to this week.
Well, whatever. Kaz went 5-1 last week.
He
so,
did.
I mean, I got to take what I can get at this point. You know?
All right, let's pick this game. Jets 13.5-point dogs. Frankie was the only one that had the Dolphins last week, so I'm going to let Frankie pick first. Jets versus Jaguars. What's your prediction?
All right, guys. Looking at this game, and again, we're just looking at the game. I know fans are like, oh, I want them to lose. I want them to this. Whatever. Let's just talk about the game here. Trevor Lawrence has been playing a lot better the last couple of weeks. I think he's starting to really understand what Liam Cohen wants to do there. Trevor Lawrence, actually, I was looking at some next gen stuff. He actually has one of the best passer ratings when he's not play actioning. So he's actually really good at when he's just standing in the pocket, sort of reading what's going on and trying to dissect and do what Liam Cohen wants him to do. He's been getting the ball out a lot faster the last couple of weeks too. I just really like also their I like their receiving core in a weird way. I know earlier on in the season, Brian Thomas Jr. was struggling, so a lot of people said, "Oh, the receivers stink." I like Brian Thomas Jr. I like Parker Washington. We just spoke about Jacoby Myers. So I just think with what Liam Cohen does, and again, one of the top offensive coordinators last year in the game, transitioning into this head coaching role, he's going to look at what teams have done against us, Ryan and Coz, with these misdirections, and he's going to have those receivers just running crossing routes all over the field. Give Trevor some time back there. I'm not sold on our edge play. And do I think we're going to cover? You're damn right I do. I would take the Jets to cover. Absolutely. So I do think Brady, Cook, and Brees, I think they're going to do something. I think this is like a Tanner Engstrand, I don't want to say get right game, but like, I want to show you what I could do with the UDFA. You gave me Justin Fields. You tried to ruin my career here. I'm going to come in and show you what I can do with the guy that nobody wanted to draft. So I do think we're going to put up some points here. It's going to be a little shootout here, guys. We're going to have a little shootout on our hands, but I have the Jaguars, 31, Jets, 27. The Jets are going to
a lot of points for the Jets.
A lot of points this week. I'm telling you, I'm telling you guys, I'm just
Coz
letting you know.
It's literally like, what are we doing here?
Coz is like 10-3.
Frankie is already. I'm gonna keep mine short, Ryan, because Frankie has already talked way too much about this game. Yeah, Joe Burrow's not walking through that door this week. Ryan. I got news for you. Neither is Kyler Murray. I don't want to dump on Brady Cook. I thought he did some decent things last week, and he looked more comfortable in the second half. But I think this is a tough assignment, and I think the Jets cover. I do think they will cover that spread. It's big, but I'll go Jaguars 24, Jets 14. I think their Jets are going to have a tough time running the ball on this defense. I think Brees is banged up, so don't discount that. And I think their path to winning this game is running the ball and turning Trevor Lawrence over, and we know how they do with that. You know what? I'm going to go with here, right? Here's my big prediction for the week. The Jets get their first interception of the season.
I knew you were going to say that.
Quantez Stiggers picks off Trevor Lawrence.
Ooh, I like that. I like that call.
Stiggers.
Can I get a line on that from FanDuel or something? Can I get a line on that?
Do you want a line on
Stiggers intercepting Trevor Lawrence? Can we go that specific?
I can't get that specific, but I can give you Trevor Lawrence plus 113 to throw an interception against the Jets. It's plus money.
Okay.
I don't hate that. All right. I think you know where I'm going with this one, guys. We're all on the Jaguars here. I don't think the Jets can handle ETN in the run game. They don't turn the ball over. They do nothing defensively at all well. And I think the Jaguars are going to steamroll the Jets. It's going to be like another one of those where they'll get on the Jets quick and fast, and then Brady Cook's going to be asked to do stuff that he's just not comfortable doing. And I also think that the Brady Cook, not hype, but like mini, like, oh, he did some things well, is going to fall off real quick, and everyone's going to realize, oh, that's an undrafted rookie and probably shouldn't be playing in the NFL right now. And I think he's going to struggle mightily. Probably he's going to throw multiple interceptions again. I think the Jets' offensive line is going to try their best, but I think they're going to be put in a bad situation because the Jaguars are going to stack against the run. Breece Hall's not going to get really anything going. He's got the knee injury already. I got the Jaguars 24, Jets 6. They are going to cover in this one. This is going to be an ugly one.
That's a good score prediction, Ryan.
Yeah, I don't think
I could
the Jets are
definitely
going to score
see
a
that
touchdown.
happening.
I think it's a couple field goals in this one. That's a show. That's Gangs All Here. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button on the New York Post Sports YouTube channel. Follow Frankie and I for this Sunday for the post-game live show. Follow Coz's coverage all throughout the weekend. Coz, real quick, my final question for you. Are we for sure Brady Cook's going to be the starter this weekend?
No, we're about 2 minutes away from Aaron Glenn's press conference, so I think we'll find out then. But neither guy practiced, Fields or Taylor, yesterday, so I don't see any scenario where they're playing Sunday if they're not practicing on Thursday.
You heard it there, guys. We'll see him. Make sure to pay attention to Coz here for the presser and see what the heck's going on with this quarterback situation. We'll catch you next time, guys.